Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Arlen Specter U.S. Squash Center in Philadelphia for the 2022 U.S. Championships. My name is Dent Wilkins. I'm here with U.S. Squash. I'm joined by my co-commentator for this first match this evening, Narelle Krizak. Narelle, welcome. It's great to have you.
Thanks, Dent. It's very exciting.
This has been an amazing weekend of competition, or week of competition at the Specter Center, and we're down to just the final two. So we had a great night of semifinals last night. These four athletes made it through. But we've really seen kind of just a super high level and how ascendant squash in the United States is right now. It's been a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, it was great. I was at home last night with my boys. We were watching on TV, so it's fun to see it.
We've got, starting with the men's match tonight, we'll have Timmy Brownell taking on Todd Harrity. Timmy, the number 4 seed, up-and-coming young U.S. player, upset Shah Jahan Khan, the number 1 seed last night, and then Todd Harrity, who's won this event 3 times, will be coming in as the 2 seed and the favorite. But Timmy's been really playing well over the last several months, and he's going to have a lot to say about the outcome of this match as well. And that'll be followed by the sister showdown, Amanda Sobey and Sabrina Sobey, which I know everyone is looking forward to. Amanda, 4-time champion of this event and the top seed, taking on her younger sister, Sabrina. So we know they still love each other, but the competition's going to be fierce out there tonight.
Yes, I can only imagine, having a sister myself.
So what was it like being out there with your playing your sister, battling on court?
Well, in singles it was awful because she would always beat me. But then we had the opportunity to play in doubles, so that was super fun.
I mean, that's the best thing to do, is co-opt the person who keeps beating you and just put them on your team. Right?
Exactly. She was the runner and I was the shooter.
So we'll start our first match here in just a couple minutes, and this is a fun one. You know, Timmy Brownell, we'll get into a little bit more of his history, but only 24 years old. He's been training here at the Specter Center full-time, working really, really hard, taking on kind of one of the legends of squash here on the men's side in U.S. and Todd Harrity, who is past his 30th birthday, but still moving like a young man. So he's 31 years old. Currently number 36 in the world, and he's got great pedigree in this event, a really good record, and he is also the defending champion who'll be looking to hold his spot. So what are your thoughts on this first matchup here?
Well, I think it'll be Todd has experience. He's been in this position before, so I'm sure he'll feed off of that. Timmy, so new for him. He had a great match last night. 1 in 5, fought really hard. He relaxed. By the end of the third game, you could see him finally relax and actually play his game. And he's been on this court a lot training, so he should feel comfortable, but it's also a big moment for him. So hopefully he can take it to Todd and give him a match. And
yeah, I think he was down 2-love. Timmy was down 2-love against Shah last night, and found a way to drag it back in what was a really tough match. So it'll be interesting to watch and just see how his legs are feeling today. Certainly one of the biggest improvements he's made is his physical strength this year, which we'll talk about as we start watching him. But I think he will certainly be ready, and Todd is always such a tough competitor. Like, these are two of the nicest guys that you'll see in our men's game, and I think you'll see really clean, free-flowing, open squash, and I know they have a lot of respect for each other, so I think it'll be everything that's right about squash out there.
Yep, and it'll be interesting with Timmy being a lefty. Like, definitely brings something different that players have to adjust to, so I think that's a positive for him, that if he can use that and use his strength in the backhand left corner.
Yep, and I just saw you with his mom, a legendary coach in her own right in the U.S., so I just saw you say hi to Chris down by the court.
Yeah, I was really excited to see her. She must be so proud, has worked so hard, teaching him from such a little guy, but I just said he's a young boy to me, but he's just such a sweet guy, always positive. When you walk in the center, he always gives you a big smile and checks in to see how you're doing, and I just said she has to be so proud of him as a person, and then this is just such an exciting moment for him and for her as well, because she's put in the hard work too to get him here.
Yeah, when we're lucky now, that he's out of college, he was a star at Harvard University, and to have him on the national team training full time here at the center, he brings great energy into the center, as you say, every day. He's always got a smile on his face. He's always willing to give his time to the kids that are coming up or coming into some of the free clinics around here or anything like that. Like, he's just a great presence that we're lucky to have. So it's nice to see him not just being the nice guy, but also really becoming much more fierce out on court these days, and he's found some really good results this spring.
Great.
And then Todd as well, speaking of nice guys, we were laughing yesterday. Todd put his hands on his head at one point after a call, and we said that's about as animated as you're going to see Todd out on the court. He's very, very steady mentally and tough for. He does a really nice job of not letting his opponents kind of feel any weaknesses or fall off. He just is kind of steely and gives you the straight stare and moves ahead with his business out there.
He's a poker player.
Exactly. Yeah. We'll stay off the tables with him.
Yeah.
Yep. So it looks like we're both athletes are there. You can see Timmy down in the left corner of your screen there. As we said, he's just having a chat and being nice to the people that are moving by. So it means he's now he's decided to go warm up, so that's good. But he looks ready, and I saw Todd down there earlier, who I think this has been a special week for Todd because it's he's been all over the world. He's been training in Egypt a ton, but this is back home for him. He grew up in Philadelphia. Was several-time U.S. junior champion, and I know there's going to be a lot of local support for Todd with his kind of friends and family and former club members down with him.
Yeah, I just saw his dad down as well, getting in for a quick chat. So exciting, his family's here. I'm sure his uncle's here as well, and lots of family members. So exciting for him. Exciting to be at the centre. A real opportunity for them to be on their home courts, which is great.
So it looks like we are ready to go. So we are going to go down to the court for Ryan Leslie View Squash to introduce the two players. All right, Narelle, we've got a great crowd up there in the stands. They are excited to check out the action today for these two incredible matches. Once again, Dent Wilkins of U.S. Squash here with Narelle Krizak, also from U.S. Squash. And Narelle, we're in for some great ones in these two finals. And as the men warm up here, we were talking about them. We just heard with the intros, Timmy at his all-time high ranking currently at number 64 in the world. And then Todd, our number 2 ranked U.S. player at number 36. we'll watch these guys warm up and then get going. But would love to hear a little bit of the work that you're doing right now. I know your position as the director of women and girls here and assistant director of the Arlen Specter U.S. Squash Center. You've had a full plate, so would love to hear a little bit about what you're working on and how it's going.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, it's definitely been very busy to get the center up and running, but programming's going full steam ahead. We've been focusing locally here at the center on developing public school leagues, and so excited that we're starting our first official public school league in the fall. Philadelphia School District has endorsed it, and really excited to have them a part of a partnership with them. Working around the country with other teaching pros to find new ways and pathways to get girls engaged. We added Bring a Buddy. This season we had 26 clubs around the country that encouraged new women to come and participate. Actually in Baltimore they had 32 ladies at the Maryland Club, which was really exciting. It was an all-men's club and just converted to adding women, so that was really exciting. And then adding a Women and Girls Summit in the fall, focusing on off-court work for the girls, so it's not just about competing on the squash court, but helping them with tools and empowering them for their future, and just really trying to help grow the game throughout the country, more access, working with the community affiliate programs to get more girls out on the court.
Well, and certainly in this tournament at the top level, we've got full prize money parity, a commitment that we made first at the U.S. Open in 2013 as an organization that then all the major events worldwide followed suit within only a few years. And, it's a very different landscape now compared to your time on tour, and just really nice to see the momentum. And as that prize money and recognition has accelerated and grown, we've seen the women's tour continue to really thrive, and I think it's as healthy as it's ever been, and just an amazing group of athletes that we get to watch in all these events.
Yeah, it's so exciting. I hadn't watched the pro game for a long time, and just the young up-and-coming American girls, it's really exciting to see what they've been doing, and just the level is amazing. I actually get to see them training here at the center a lot, and I just can't believe their level, and with the facilities here, what they're going to be able to accomplish in the next 5 years.
I think some in the audience might like to see you out there against Amanda and Sabrina and test your mettle. Do you think maybe a little exhibition after tonight's match or something?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Maybe
right.
on the doubles court. I'll take them on the doubles court. I'm too old for singles.
Narelle is in the conversation very much for the best women's doubles player of all time, and was the founder of the Women's Pro Doubles Tour, which continues to thrive now. So if you get a friendly invite from Narelle on the doubles court, watch out. So we're here on the second half of the warm-up in the men's match, getting excited for the beginning here of Todd and Timmy. What do you say you expect to see at the beginning of the match here? We know that, as you pointed out earlier, Timmy's a lefty. There's a lot of pressure. You're in the final, first time ever for Timmy. First time since 2019 when Todd won it, because this event hasn't been run in a couple years. So, as a player, what are you looking to do in these kind of big pressure moments in the first game?
For Timmy, I really think he's got to focus on his length, trying to cut the ball off and get the tempo going. When he was playing at a fast tempo last night, he seemed to do really well, and he was shooting really well. So I think he just really needs to be consistent, positive within his energy, and just try to really relax and get in the flow. He was a little uptight last night at the start, and then you could really see him relax and get more comfortable. So I know this is a big moment for him, and just really focus on that one bounce back wall and try to get Todd behind him, but see what Todd comes up with.
I think it's tough sometimes with after a really tough match in the semifinal, your body's going to, even if you've done a really good warm-up, sometimes it takes half a game before you actually feel like you're fully flowing and your movement's running and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see Timmy's movement early on and how he's feeling after that battle yesterday.
And with your nerves as well, that has such a big impact. So hopefully he can try to get through that and deep breathing and find any tool he can to just relax and have fun, actually.
Yeah, I think for so many of us, these big matches, everything's 50% harder than it is otherwise. You're breathing harder. It takes more energy to do everything. You're feeling a little tight. So both players will look to settle into that rhythm and get into the match. And it's good to see Timmy kind of getting out there positively here. You see him just like looking to get a little bit free-flowing, get the ball moving around. And, Todd's bringing a ton of experience. As we said, he's got 8 years on Timmy, and he'll know what to do right from the start, and I think he'll look to test Timmy's legs a little bit and see how he's feeling after that tough one yesterday.
I just think all the pressure's on Todd, though. So
exactly.
Yeah, and how many opportunities you're going to get, and so he'll have the pressure too.
All right, so we're so glad you're all with us. Here we are, the beginning of the SL Green men's draw, the finals of the U.S. Championship. Todd Harrity and Timmy Brownell. Let's take a look. Did you enjoy playing lefties when you were playing, or was it annoying?
Annoying. I remember an Aussie, Vicky Cardwell, pretty solid player, and I just every time I would go up front left and I would go straight, she would just absolutely kill me. So I remember my coach Rod Martin being like, "What are you doing? Like, it's so hard to change that pattern that you're just ingrained."
Right.
And I can just imagine with playing Amanda, if people hit a cross-court lob to her forehand, you're just destroyed.
We were talking about that yesterday, strength just above the head. You're used to being able to lift that ball to the left wall and at least get yourself back to neutral. And you see a nice job by there, Timmy calling the ball out on himself. We saw this last night with he and Shaw, both of them calling some balls on themselves, and just shows the mutual respect between the players and just the commitment to playing the right way.
It's so important, the sportsmanship and etiquette. That was a really long first rally, though.
Yeah, we'll get the heart rate up a little bit. Just a little short. That's normally where Todd loves to be. If anything too slow for him, Todd loves. We talked about this last night. That high pace, quick step across the middle, cut everything off. Like if he can, he applies pressure not necessarily through shot making only, but through just how early he takes the ball when he starts to find his rhythm across the midcourt. Oh, that's a nice ball.
Yeah.
Great ball by Timmy. That's what Timmy does so well, just measuring his pace when he starts to find that rhythm. So that's a good sign for him early.
And he's just got a small, compact swing, so he could take it early and
get a beautiful shot there of the Specter Center. You can see the trusses in the background. A great crowd out here tonight and continuing to come in. A little injection of pace from both players there. A couple winners for both down that right wall. It'll be interesting to see, with Timmy as a lefty, you'll see Todd be, willing to go over that right wall quite a bit. But one of our commentators was saying last night that he actually thinks that Timmy's backhand may even be stronger than his forehand. So, that's a kind of non-traditional setup for the lefty if that's the case. But he can really keep it tight down that right wall. So I think you'll see a lot of action up and down this right because Todd likes being over there as well.
Well, the majority of play is normally on the backhand side anyway, but it'll be interesting here. Thought Timmy did a really good job of figuring out last night. He kept serving from the left box, serving to the forehand, and it was just really interesting to see how he figured that out pretty quickly.
And a lot of body serves from that same side too, right? Just not wanting to give the ball on Shaw's volley and give him an opportunity to attack off the bat.
I thought for people watching that was a really good strategy that he used, and people are so used to just going to the same side every time. It just throws people off their rhythm, and at this level they got to try any little thing to help them.
Just something else to think about. You got to think this is the start that Timmy wanted. When you're playing someone, you have to deal with the mental piece as well. That growing up, Todd would have been someone that Timmy idolized. I was talking to his mom earlier. She said, "Oh, years ago in juniors, like Timmy would, as soon as Todd was on court, Timmy would bound over and rush over to get a front row seat to watch Todd play and one another." And that's that could be tough mentally. When you play someone who's been you've looked up to your entire time and things like that. I mean, with the great Australian squash tradition. I'm sure you had some of those players when you were young, where it's like, oh my goodness, I'm on court with her. What do I do?
Well, yeah, Michelle Martin and Sarah Fitzgerald, they're 1 and 2 in the world. So
It's a pretty good one too there
yeah,
between those two.
except we had to play against them all the time. It was pretty embarrassing. But they were so awesome to be on court with, and supportive and encouraging. So I'm sure Todd's been so encouraging to Timmy and supportive and helped lead the way.
There's a really nice through line with all of our kind of top athletes, these people who've been at the top of the U.S. game for a long time, people like Todd, people like Amanda Sobey. Like, you see them very supportive of that next generation, and they know that they have responsibility to pay it forward and see them moving. And these younger players challenge them and continue to make the older players better. So it's just really nice to see that camaraderie with the U.S. team.
It's really interesting. Timmy's done a really good job. Every chance he gets, he could attack front right, but he's been really disciplined with just going good deep length with a quick pace. And
there's that ball you can't give Todd. You can't let him take that one step across the midcourt. You see the type of damage he can do.
Yep.
But I agree, Timmy's doing a nice job moderating early. It's keeping Todd far enough back that makes it tougher for him to play that forward style of game that he enjoys.
that's twice now he's hit that working boast up to the front right corner.
We've actually seen him here at the center, like playing a lot of practice, that kind of volley working boast. It'd be interesting to see if that's just a piece to his game that he's looking to use a lot more of, because we saw a bunch of that against Shaw last night as well. I mean, the fun part, we were talking about that support of each other for Team USA and everything. That's one of the things that's going to be so special about the Specter Center, and has been in year one, is just it being a place where these athletes can come together, whether they're the group of athletes that are training or plan to train full time here, or whether they are athletes who are elsewhere but are able to base themselves here during some time in the U.S. or to work on specific things, come together for national team training, and likewise not just the pros, to see the top college players come through. We just had an under-23 squad that was training here. And then the juniors, we had two 16-year-olds who made the quarterfinals of the women's draw here, which was super fun to see. So it's just a place where all of these athletes can come together and learn from each other, along with obviously the services provided here and the coaching with Hong Bang Hee, the Gannick family squash head national coach, and other coaches. So it's gonna be a really exciting couple years to just see all of that come together.
Yeah, I think it's great. And I'm sure other people will come from all around the world to come in and train and have access to it as well. And it's great for our athletes if other people can come and train with them to mix it up. But they're so lucky they all have each other on a regular basis and such a good staff. And I actually saw last week Timmy had the strength and conditioning coach, Bridget, out on court. They were all out there playing King of the Court and just
That's
having
great.
so much fun. So it's good to see they're actually enjoying their training, and because it is such a grind for them and it's such a hard sport, and physically what they have to do in and day out, and it's great they have such a good team looking after them.
Tight ball from Todd there. Excellent length. Yeah, as you said, the kind of international players coming through has been fun. Though, that there's a tournament in the U.S. We had, for instance, basically the entire Hong Kong team was here training for a couple weeks, and that's a real asset to the U.S. players, because you just get experiences with different styles, different players, and different training. So it can be a real cooperative element here. Timmy not happy with that, but onward. 7-all here in the first game.
Yeah, that was pretty tight and pretty good nick, so it's a
Nurel
big point
Nurel
here.
loves a good nick. She'll
Love
be
a
wondering
nick.
throughout the match why the ball is not being taken in. But
There we go.
There we go. On cue.
Thanks, Timmy.
Timmy's listening to you.
Mm-hmm. Not really one for running too long, so. It'd be
So
interesting to see their heart rates if they had monitors on
Yeah.
to actually see what their heart rates are right now.
It has been a high-paced first game, so they've both been working hard and attempting to get into each other's legs here. Timmy, now just a year or two out of college. What does that kind of higher level of pro training just do for you mentally when you're in these kind of tough games, end of a game, your heart rate's up, you're breathing hard. What mental advantage does all that training give you?
So much. A psychologist, a friend of ours, talks about money in the bank, and that once you've put your money in the bank, you just know you can rely on it, and you have the confidence to push through. And they're putting in double the hours of match each day. So,
right.
Yeah. But as I was saying earlier, with the nerves and the length of the tournament and what the match pressure from last night for Timmy, what that does to your legs. So, but he's feeling confident. He's young. He's a little puppy, so he should be able to go all day long.
All right, Todd evening back up here, 8-all. Crucial moments here.
Yeah.
The
As
US
we
Men's
say, this
Championship.
is where the match starts.
Nice of Timmy there calling on himself again. Really fair player.
It's really important for the juniors to see that.
Yeah, you don't need to always wait for
No.
a call, and in fact, it's your responsibility to not wait. If you didn't get it, you didn't get it, and it's dependent on both players. Really leaning in. Stroke there, ball coming out for Todd a little bit. The referee thinking that Timmy was on that early enough, was going to be able to be in a winning position with that slightly looser drop from Todd.
Yeah, I remember growing up when we were playing World Juniors and just remembering the etiquette of the American girls. They were just so polite on court, maybe too polite. But it was just so nice to hear it, and when you come over and see that the importance of the sportsmanship for the Americans is, hopefully that will continue, and working at US Squash to implement policies in place through the juniors to ensure that continues. But it's great that the athletes are out there showing them how to act.
Game ball here for Todd, applying strong pressure on Timmy, but good defense there. Ooh, it's a tough rally here. Putting in a lot of work.
Oh.
Referee determining there's just enough interference there to give the let. Timmy happy to have that one. We go another game ball. Todd Harity, 10-9 here in the first.
I think Timmy's pretty lucky that Todd's such a nice guy there. Most other players may have had a little more to say about that one.
Yeah, Todd will go about his business on to the next point. And a little bit of a soft air there. So 10-all going into overtime, fitting for this first game. I mean, they've been within a point basically the entire time of each other. So we'll see who can grab it at the end here. As we said last night, I think the referee is doing the job here because both players seem, equally feeling like they deserve a call. So as long as both players are slightly perturbed, then you're probably in a good spot.
And it's such a fine line for the referees. It happens so fast that
It's extremely tough at this level. Just the speed these players are playing with, and the margins are so small. Was there just enough interference where they go? And these are two very fair players. They play through as much as they can generally, and but even then it makes the calls so difficult because you just have to make these snap judgments, as you say, with without the ability to look at it over and over.
So there's that working boast
there it
again.
is.
He hit two of them in that rally, so that's definitely going to put some pain in Todd's legs.
Yeah,
tracking that
giving
down.
himself a chance. Who would you say this first game is more important for? Is there one who you feel really needs this one?
I definitely think Timmy, like, to have the confidence and belief that because it's been so tight, like, okay, I can hang in here. If Todd had come out and just destroyed him in the first game, then that will play with his confidence. So just the personal belief for Timmy is huge. Whether he wins this game or doesn't, that he can just come back out in the second. For Todd, he's been here before, so
right.
Yeah, he's like, okay, reset.
And Timmy staying patient in this rally, not looking to go in too early. Really working the point. Oh, just out of court there. Good little fade by Todd. Excellent pressure. This game is brutal. These boys are going to be feeling it at the end of this first.
But again, that's where Timmy he slightly clipped Todd. I've seen a lot of the other pro players probably call a let there. Timmy played through it.
Ooh, this tough call.
Should be a stroke too. At this level, the ball should not be in the middle of the court.
Yeah, the referee determining that Todd was far enough back that Timmy had room to move forward and play. It's just that subtle, tough call you were talking about, right? Like just inches here and there, and taking multiple things into account. How loose the ball was, where the players' movements were. Did they have their opportunity in the line to go play it? Like it's not a simple flow chart, right? You've got to take 5 or 6 things. Oh.
Wow. And that was, I just wanted to comment, just before he went to return serve, he actually took an extra second to take a big, deep breath. And instead of getting caught up in the moment of not getting the stroke, that was a big nick.
Oh, what a get.
What is the rule there, Dan, for the people at home watching?
Yeah, so what the referee gave there is just a let because Todd turned. So sometimes turning is misinterpreted. Oh, beautiful shot by Todd. You see it applauded by Timmy. You have to actually turn towards the back wall and follow the ball around. If you just are looking at the front wall and it simply goes to the other side, sometimes people will think that's turning. But in that case, because Todd had to go all the way around back and then take the ball from the other side, that's an automatic let in that case. All right, here we go. Another game ball for Todd. These guys are looking for extra credit here. Regular game length wasn't enough for them. Oh. Just the top of the tin there. Here we are, 13-all.
Wow.
Well, we said it was going to be close, Morel. I think they're backing it up here. Both players taking a couple extra seconds when they can. They both know how important this first game is. Just caught the top of the tin there on that cross-court volley. It's a gift for Timmy there. And now Timmy has a game ball. He's had to fight off a couple, and now he's got one of his own.
Timmy's got to be careful. If he keeps floating the ball at the cut line, that's where Todd just cuts the ball off and kept going short so well. So he got away with that one.
For sure.
He's been doing a really good job of lobbing, hitting low and hard, but then also lobbing, changing the pace.
Todd's still looking to keep the pace high here, take the ball early. They gave a stroke there to Timmy. They thought that Todd's ball just came out enough and wasn't able to get clear, so they do give the stroke to Timmy. 15-13 in the first game. The youngster coming through, as you said, you thought it was most important between the two of them that he was able to capture that first. So really long, tough first game. Like it's tough to recover in such a short time after a game like that.
Yeah, I'm sure if everyone at home, that 90 seconds really isn't a long time, especially with their heart rate being so high.
Luckily, none of us play games that long, so we don't have quite as much distance in our legs after the end of our first game. Yeah, you and I would have been already at the restaurant after our singles match at this point. So
I just saw Sabrina Sobey walk past, so it's exciting that the girls will be coming up after this match. And
yeah, I want to know what I want to hear the conversation between Sabrina and Amanda. I wonder if they've been chatting today, or whether they've been a little radio silent.
Probably radio silent. I would assume Sabrina's probably been doing a lot of artwork. She's a really great artist. I don't know if you've seen her work, but I know she definitely loves reading and loves drawing, and so I'm sure she's been doing a lot of that today.
I think something just to reset your mind, get your mind away from the pressure of these big moments is so important.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't think Todd is doing any artwork off court right now, but he is going to look to reset. And it's a challenge after one of those really tough games where you've had a couple game balls to he's a consummate pro. He'll be okay, and he will get through that mentally. But it is a little leap that you need to get over, and knowing that you had the game on your racket a couple times there.
Yeah, it looked like he just when he was up 10-9, he just lapse in concentration when he was going short. Like he was on his back foot a little bit instead of really stepping in and attacking on his front foot. So I'm sure he'll adjust. He'll know what he did wrong and fix it.
Right.
Or he'll at least try to fix it.
Try. It's easy in the booth here.
Yeah.
A little bit harder when you're on court. All right, here we are for Game 2. Once again, you're here at the 2022 SL Green Men's Draw at the U.S. Championships at the Arlen Specter U.S. Squash Center in Philadelphia. Absolutely beautiful facility, just opened in this past year. And first time this event has ever been held here. So really fortunate for all of us to get to watch this squash, and we're grateful to all of you for joining us and watching it around the country and around the world. So we're here for Game 2. Defending champion and three-time champ Todd Harrity lost the first to the young up-and-comer, to Timmy Brownell, and Todd with a positive start out to the beginning of the game here. Yeah,
and there was that forehand volley drop. He gave extra margin for error and just slotted it straight in, and then unforced error by Timmy, so he's got to make sure he resets quickly here.
Nice ball. So Todd out to a quick lead here. I wanted to talk a little bit more about Timmy after that first game. He feels like he had a real breakthrough this spring. All the work starting to pay off. And full-time training here at the Specter Center, doing a ton of work with Gannett Family National Coach Ong Beng-hee. And there was a challenger level tournament for the PSA in New York that the winner would qualify for the platinum level tournament of champions. And Timmy made it all the way through the challenger event with a series of really good wins, and then proceeded to back that up with a first round win, his first platinum tournament win against, I believe it was Kareem El-Hamami, who's a top 30 in the world player. And it's just it was kind of this moment where I think Timmy was kind of like, I belong. And those type of runs and those type of matches really help build the self-belief that you should be here, you should be a part of this. And that'll help him in a match like this against someone who he would have idolized when he was growing up, but now obviously is very much at this level to go out and compete with, and someone like Todd Harrity.
Yeah, you just need the opportunities to get out there and play at that level, see the level by being on court with everyone, training at the TOC, and just being around it and seeing what everyone else is doing. You feed off of that and add it to your repertoire, and just keep its baby steps, building on it.
Well, I mean, out there, but a really positive start from Todd here. You can see the vet, just putting that first game out of his mind. Timmy, sometimes a big win in a game, you can relax a little bit, get out of your own rhythm just because you're so relieved to kind of get through, and you're thinking, oh, great, I took the first, that's a big deal. And then next thing you know, Todd's jumped out to a quick lead here.
Well, and physically with squash, you just so many ups and downs with your body as well, right? So I just know Paul Asiante has always talked about, like, you just got to get through those moments, because the next game you'll feel better, and they've put in the work, but it's also you got to see where your body is. And
Right.
so Timmy could have won that game and had a lot of energy from it, but it also could zap him a little bit.
Yeah, Paul was commentating with us last night, and he was talking a lot about his philosophy of basically just tapping the other person's gas tank, and win or lose at any given points, you're taking these you're taking bit by bit out of their gas tank with the idea of trying to get them empty before you are, and I like that. So I've got a lot of analogies I need to work on between your piggy. You've got your piggy bank. Paul's got his gas tank. We're gonna bundle these all up at the end of the event, and
My friend who's watching and won the world championship with him, Paul Price, is all about the flow. And he talks a lot about that, being relaxed, being in the flow, letting your body be in that moment. So certain things trigger for different athletes. So, but I know Paul Asiante is the guru.
He would have those players ready mentally at any given time. We talked last night, just saying, by the time you're out on court, you're not going to become a better squash player than you already are. You are as good as you are, and now you've got to figure out how you can get the most out of what you have already, right?
Yep, and another unforced error by Todd here.
Let Timmy in. I mean, this is another great response by Timmy. He was down, I think, 5-love, and he's won 4 out of the last 5 points and put himself right back in this match. And that puts a ton of pressure on Todd, because Todd does not want to find himself down love 2 here. So, mentally he's going to have to stay strong if he wants to even this up.
Just too loose there from Timmy. I actually think he should be playing the right side of the court more. His backhand, ironically, but...
Oh, Timmy guessed right. You can see Todd frustrated with himself there. Timmy was a total guess if Todd hit that cross court. That was a point over.
But again, I think that's
for it.
maybe you forget that he's a lefty.
Uh-huh.
So it's easier for him to just put his hand out and swing at it.
Feels like suddenly a little injection of pace and movement from both players here, sensing the importance of the middle of the second game. I think it's interesting to watch the players determine when they feel the time to turn the dial up and turn the dial down. You can't go at 100% for an entire match, right? So, what were some of the things that players are considering when they're trying to figure out when they want to put in that extra effort for a series of points?
Well, Todd got up 5, so he was probably able to just take a little bit of a break, knowing that he had a good lead. And so then Timmy came back. Well, then Todd's got to counter that, right? So then you got to up it again a little bit and push yourself. If you just stay flat, the other person's going to take over. We got some sweat going on here.
Yeah, not surprising after the effort these guys are putting in the first game and a half here. So, plenty of work happening. Yeah, the players want to make sure that type of the area is cleaned up, because that's right where so many of the lunges are happening, and you really don't want to see any of these players just slide out and catch a heel on that wet spot and hurt themselves. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We have exciting sweat-related commentary here at the U.S. Championships. Doesn't get any better than this.
Ironically, a friend of mine who I've played a lot of squash with, she was always our nurse at and doctor at a lot of the tournaments. Dawn Gray, she's been working so hard through COVID. We've missed seeing her at the squash courts. Hopefully we can get her back soon, but thanks for taking care of everybody. And I remember one tournament she had to wrap a guy as he dislocated his left shoulder, and she had to pop it back into place. But squash is the agility and the movement, and you're on court in such close quarters with someone. It's so easy for something to happen. So it's really important they take care of the the court and are mindful of their bodies.
Here you go. Timmy all the way back to 7-8 here after being down 5-love in the first. Just such an impressive performance from the youngsters so far. It's been a real pleasure to watch, and he clearly believes he belongs out here against Todd, which is great to see. Todd will be looking to lean on that local Philly crowd a little bit. You know, they'll be pulling for him. A ton of supporters for him in the area. Ooh, just the 10. You can see Timmy mentally knowing, like,
that was a big point because in the last game he was down 8-7 and he got it to 8-all. So that's where he kept it so tight. So
it's where this 11-point scoring is so tough. Once you get into these late, every rally really matters and create these huge swings.
Yeah.
And
because it's 4 points for Timmy and only 2 for Todd, so your odds are better.
And that looked like Timmy could have straightened that out too. Like he tried to take a little bit of the easy way out with that boast. Whoa. Or you can just bury it in the neck. All right, from behind, take it in.
Okay.
There's that good backhand you were talking about.
I don't know if his mum would appreciate that one.
No, well, it's good. It's the coach loves it when it goes in, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know our Gannick Fedley head national coach, Ong Beng Hee, has been loving working with Timmy this year. He's just such an eager worker, and for all the kids, it's one of those things that, if you want to get to this level, you need to love it, right? You need to love the work because otherwise it just becomes a grind. But Timmy's someone who's out there and just seems like he truly loves just playing squash and training and the process of getting better, and you see the results here.
And what I love, all these guys have all played squash in college as well, so the pressure and the time commitment to be a collegiate athlete, most of the players finish college and then they all want to stop playing, so they just must truly love squash.
And there it is, evening it up, 9-all. Timmy back even after falling way behind in this first game. And then 9-7 he was down again here, so he just keeps not letting Todd run away with it just enough. Yeah, Todd, you mentioned college squash, was an intercollegiate champion. Actually took out Ali Farag in, I believe, the semifinals of that tournament, which is a nice win. Ali's having some success these days on the tour, and Timmy Brownell was an All-American and a top player for Harvard. So good to see that these players both can pursue that education, but also continue their time on tour. And there's a tough mistake from Todd, giving Timmy a game ball. It's an uncharacteristic little mental lapse there from Todd. I think normally you'll see him take that in, but he does look just a little nervous, a little tentative. Timmy definitely, he knows Todd though, and he knows that Todd will not, let those nerves get in the way. He's such a tough competitor, and he's got such a pedigree in this event and across U.S. I think you'll see Todd really lock in here.
So I know on the PSA tour you weren't allowed to have coaches during matches. Are they back to that here tonight? Are you allowed?
I believe, and I hope I don't say the wrong thing, but I believe, there's another winner for Timmy. Todd can't quite get that one. 2-love for the up-and-coming number 4 seed here, Timmy Brownell, in his first SL Green men's final, up 2-love against defending champion Todd Harrity. Wow.
And the chest was out. You could see he was walking off I got it.
There was some swagger in that walk, absolutely.
Sorry, so I cut you off with the coaching.
Oh no, I don't believe there is any coaching allowed this week, so they are doing it on their own, and it's actually, while we wait for the third game here, something I'd recommend for a lot of juniors, like play tournaments without a coach. There's so much value in just figuring out what to do, and not having to, after 2-all in the first game, you're looking up to the gallery and being like, what went wrong, but to figure out the puzzle. It's such a complicated game. You need to be able to think your way through it and not just wait for someone to tell you what to do between games.
And it also creates anxiety for the kids and with their parents watching too. Like during COVID, when we were only allowed a parent or a coach in the facility, I think it really benefited the kids that they could just come and think for themselves and not feel all the pressure. So, and as you said, from the mental side of learning how to play, in tennis, they don't allow coaches, even though we do see coaching. signals and they are still getting it, but you do really have to have a feel and an understanding when you're out there playing. Like, figure out the puzzle. Like, figure it out what the other person's doing well, and don't just make it about yourself.
Right.
Like, I think when you have the coaches all the time and the parents telling you, then it's just you're so consumed about what you're doing and you're not really thinking about the overall strategy. So.
Yeah, and just the willingness to embrace that the other player is doing stuff well that you need to counter. You know, I think so often people have that mentality of like, oh, I made these mistakes and I did this wrong. It's like, well, you also just got beat. So
Yeah.
you know, what are they doing better
Yeah.
than you, and how are you able to try and neutralize that? All right, here we are on to Game 3 in this U.S. Championship final. Timmy Brownell up 2-love against defending champion Todd Harrity. We'll see. Be interesting to see, you know, if Timmy comes out and just tries to kind of stay steady here, or puts in a surge of energy at the beginning of the third game and sees if he can get some separation. You know, Todd doesn't have any margin for error, so Todd is just going to have to stay, you know, really locked in and high energy all the way through, because he can't allow Timmy to run away with anything here. He's got, you know, no ability to give another game.
So we'll see what Todd does to adjust. Whether he does start playing the left side, even though it is Timmy's forehand, whether he starts playing, like, there's another unforced error. Like, he's should know to be able to just get up. I know it hurts and it doesn't feel great, but that ball needs to just go up and make Timmy go get that.
Yeah, and you know, as we said, a little bit uncharacteristic for Todd, so steady. But you've got to imagine that you know, the nerves of a little bit of being the favorite, and you know, playing someone who's kind of young, up and coming, and who's surging, and that can make it tougher just to swing through the ball and to continue to play loose with both your movement and your ball striking.
And as you said too, he's been traveling and away, and what that does to your body with all the flying and the away from your home and not eating your normal day-to-day meals that you like to eat, definitely puts a mental strain as well.
Timmy out to an early lead here. Another tough point.
Wow.
Ooh, beautiful. I see Todd frustrated, like he's giving himself the opportunity to miss some of those balls instead of just keeping a little bit lower. And you know, every one of those errors is a deep breath of relief for Timmy to not have to work his way through the rest of the rally.
Well, and I wonder if he's feeling, because he's missed 2 of those balls high, if it's because it's Timmy's forehand and he's feeling he has to get it extra high over him. But
yeah, that's a great point. So they give a stroke to Timmy. They thought Todd wasn't quite clear, not quite out in time there. You can see Timmy quite activated and animated right now. I couldn't tell exactly what happened
Yeah,
there.
that's.
But,
I thought he hit the winner, and then he looked out, and I know his mum's there. That was a little.
He had a really quality length, won the point, and looked
Yeah.
agitated. But it's tough from up here in the booth to tell exactly what happened. But there's
Maybe
a nice ball
he's
from Todd.
telling his mum, "Your strategy's working, mum."
The
No, I know. I would love to hear Ong Beng Hee's thoughts on this match.
Whoa,
And wow,
shot.
that was huge. What his thoughts would be for both players.
yeah, it'd be great to get his insight.
Analyze it.
As you work with these players, there's such a time as a player's coach, just understanding each. Each player needs so much different input, right? Like what you would say to one player between games is totally different for another, and sometimes you might have like a certain analysis in your head, but you know that if you say it to that player, it'll completely make them devolve and fall apart, right?
Might
So
yell
I
back
think,
at you.
I remember years ago talking to Sarah Fitzgerald, one of Sarah Fitzgerald's coaches, and he was like, yeah, and this, for those of you who don't know, Sarah's one of the legends of the women's game, one of the best of all time, and she, he was like, you couldn't even say the word boast to her in between games, because she would she'd fall in love with the boast, and even if I said don't boast, she'd just start boasting like one or another. This was the many-time women's world champion, and everyone's having to be careful with what they say. So coaching's tricky.
Wow.
Oh, great ball by Todd there. Timmy with a little breakdance move there. That was nice. He should have kept spinning.
So it's interesting. I don't think Timmy should have slid there because he had momentum going. This could have changed a little bit. We'll see if Todd can regroup here.
Yeah, sometimes that towel down gives you just a time to mentally reset, and now we see Todd, just get himself back within range here. And middle late in the third here, Todd will know that there's a opportunity for Timmy to tighten up, right? Like you suddenly start to sense them. Oh, this is a tough miss. Timmy may sense the moment at the end here, and you never know how a player is going to react to their first time in this final, in a final like this tournament. So Todd will want to stay really, really steady and give Timmy the opportunity to make an error or two, or maybe not play his best squash in case he does get a little nervous and feel like, oh man, I may almost be there, right?
But I'm sure having just played that tournament where he won it and got through, like gives you that confidence, and it's so soon that he can draw back on that. Like,
it's a very
yes,
different
I can
mentally,
do that.
not just winning big matches, but winning a tournament, like getting all the way through a draw. Is that a really kind of a different mental experience?
So different.
Todd's length suddenly not quite getting through, allowing Timmy to take it early. Oh, there's that boast. It's back.
Sarah Fitz boast. She did have a pretty good boast, so
there was a reason she was in love with it.
Yeah. I've never seen anyone volley as much as her.
Even at the Masters level now, in the age group, she's still playing absolutely unbelievable squash. She, looks like she's, 30 years old still, bounding around out there. All right, well, it's such a big moment for Timmy here. He's captured a couple more. Todd trying to use the height of the court, but Timmy's looking really steady. Only 3 points away now from his first SL Green men's title.
Wow.
Nervous error.
But what?
Really tough off.
It's kind of like Timmy's like, why is Todd doing that? Like surprised that, as you've said, he's idle. That's not him.
Yeah, certainly not characteristic, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's almost a frustration, Nick. It's like I.
Like I might as well go for it at this point.
Why am I putting this ball in the tin? I'm just going to bury one. We were talking last night. Todd hit about the best Nick I've ever seen to close out the gold medal match in the doubles event in Lima, Peru, in the Pan Am Games, where he and Chris Hansen won the gold. And it was this epic long rally at the end, and all the players were sitting on the edge of their seat. The women's team was there supporting Andrew Douglas, who was also on the men's team, and Todd, expressionless in his face, hit. It's a wider court, and so he had about 20 feet, across the court into just an absolute. Oh, there's another mistake.
There's another one, and Timmy was struggling. Like if you watch that again, like Timmy was barely getting out of that right corner.
Right.
To get over to that would have really hurt him, and you could have seen a difference between 5'10" to 6'9".
And now five match balls for Timmy here. So
yeah, he just took a breath there. Maybe have a little pit in his tummy.
I think so. So let's watch. Let's see if he can do it.
Oh my gosh, he just won.
And what a performance. I mean, that epically long first game comes back in the second from way down, and then really just cruises through that third game. I mean, helped by a couple mistakes by Todd, but Timmy gave him every opportunity to make those mistakes just by being super steady. And look at the joy. What a special moment for him.
And what a special moment. And for him to win that against his idol, just forever that memory of your first one and who you've competed against is extra special.
Remembering those times, being 11 years old, rushing over to the court to watch.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time
Let's
for
go
Todd
down to the court.
Harrity. Well, Timmy, one finals appearance and one finals victory. How do you feel right now, friend?
I don't really know how to describe it, but before I say anything else, I want to say one thing. This is for Adam Hamill.
You've put in a lot of work. You've put in a lot of training to get yourself to this moment. You took down the #1 seed last night in a 5-game thriller, and tonight you put on a world-class performance, taking down defending champion. What happened this year that put yourself in this position to be where you are on this stage right now?
Yeah, so about a year and a half ago, the future was pretty uncertain. A lot of the young guys didn't have a base to play at, me and Spencer in particular, and we just put our faith in U.S. Squash, and we trusted that there would be a path because they told us there would be, and this place has lived up to everything I could have hoped for and more. And the people they've put in place here, they're world class. Bridget, everybody else that does all the work, Bang Hee every day. It's been a long time coming, and the improvement we've made over a year has been staggering, and this is year one.
You've now gotten your maiden title, and I think we all kind of know the relationship and the bond that a mother and her son has. I've been able to admire it this week with you guys warming up, practicing together, your mom giving you a bunch of coaching. How much has she pushed you and willed you to win this match tonight?
Yeah, I think all that needs to be said is that every single day when I go to the gym to get my butt kicked, there's a photo of her when she's 18 years old learning how to play squash for the first time with Aggie Kurtz, and she's got those big, stupid glasses on. And every single day when I know I'm about to get my butt kicked, she keeps me going. So thank you, Mom.
Well, Timmy, congratulations. A fantastic week, an awesome performance. We're all proud of you, and we will see you later for your trophy ceremony. Congratulations once again. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2022 SL Green U.S. Men's Squash Champion, Timmy Brownell. And just a reminder, tonight we do have a wonderful event after the next match comes to a conclusion, a night with Team USA. Our next match will begin in approximately 5 minutes. In the meantime, feel free to grab some refreshments and some food up in the Gannick Family
All right, we are back. Narelle, what a special moment for Timmy. You could hear just the gratitude and talking about his mom and all the hard work he's put in. And wow, I mean, a 3-love win, his first U.S. championship. That was an amazing match.
That was so amazing, and it was just sweet to see him thank everybody that's helped him get to this point, and then just see him walk hugging his mum all nice and sweaty. It's such a special moment for them together that all the hard work he's put in just paid off, and exciting to watch the match tonight.
Well, you heard him talking about walking by the exhibit downstairs, or women and girls exhibit, where his mom, learning from an absolute legend of the game, Aggie Kurtz, and when she just started in college, and now here's her son out here winning the SL Green U.S. Men's Championship. So, Narelle, I wanted to thank you for joining as our guest commentator. Had a lot of fun, and we got to watch some great squash. So
thanks for
thank
having
you so
me.
much.
I'm going to go down and watch the sisters battle it out. And
yes. Now we continue to turn up the volume.
I'm going to go text my sister and see if she's going for the older or the younger.
Okay, well, send us the results of your next battle in your sister battle, and we'll check it out. All right, we're back here at the 2022 U.S. Championships. We just saw an amazing final in the SL Green men's draw with Timmy Brownell winning his first U.S. title over Todd Harrity. I'm joined by another special guest. After Narelle here, we've got Kevin Klipstein, the president and CEO of U.S. Squash. He's going to pop in a brief gap here before we'll have Amanda and Sabrina Sobey begin their battle in about 5 minutes. Kevin, welcome.
Thank you, Dent. It's great to see you, and fantastic work all week.
You were just down on the floor. It looks like a great crowd down there for the men's match, and obviously a lot of anticipation for the great sister battle coming up in the next one.
It was a fun match to watch. The caliber of play year over year has just gone up and up. Everything from our youngest kids all the way to our top high-performance players. So, I mean, either one, Todd or Timmy, it would have been great to see win, and it was a great match and good moment for Timmy, obviously.
And Todd's such a legend in the U.S. game. He's won this 3 times, and Timmy getting over that hump. It feels like this kind of big culminating moment, not just for him, but he's been training full time at the Specter Center. We just opened this formally last October, and now being able to hold this event here for the first time at the center, it's such an amazing showcase for the sport.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, I'd be lying if I didn't say it felt pretty good to have a player who's pushed through the pandemic and pushed through all the adversity, really embraced everything that we have to offer here, and has seen recent success. I mean, winning is a complicated matter, and so is confidence, and there's a lot that's mental and emotional. But it's just nice to see all the players supporting each other here at the center and elevating each other's games, and at the end of the day, they have those close relationships because they are training together that they're able to compete hard and still be friends and teammates, the next moment.
And we see that at these international competitions between all these Team USA athletes, just the camaraderie and the fact that, they may be tough competitors, but as soon as they throw that USA on their back, they really are one team. And Specter Center is only going to increase that collaboration and cooperation as they utilize all the resources that are available here. Gannett family head national coach and Ong Beng Hee is doing a great job in his first year, and all the wraparound support services. So I think we're only going to see that accelerate. So I'd love to hear, before we move on to this next one, just one or two of the things that you're most excited about coming into this next year. It's obviously been a wild last couple for the organization with both the pandemic, but then these big leaps in opening the Specter Center and programming restarting over the past year, and play really coming back a robust way around the country. So would just love to hear about some of the things you're most excited about for U.S. Squash as we look forward into the next season.
Well, it's been a hard year or two for everybody in the world, obviously, and we have not been any exception. However, for us as a community, we've seen the community step up and support us and confirm that squash is important in their lives, that U.S. Squash is important to the success of the sport here, and that's helped us get through this stage. And we've been working for, nearly a decade on a couple key infrastructure projects One is the Club Locker software, which facilitates play and administration of the game across the country, and probably second to none in any national governing body. And then, of course, the Specter Center, and being able to open it last year, even in the pandemic, host the Junior Open last December, as the Omicron wave was crashing in on us, but still getting through it, I think has built a lot of confidence in the team. So for me, what I'm excited about is being really thoughtful and methodical in terms of getting the most out of the Specter Center, being efficient about how we build out our programs, serving as the beacon and the model that we strive to be as a community center, the largest community squash center in the world, and at the same time use that as the strength so that we can go out there and actually really drive access to the sport. The squash community is just clamoring for this sport to grow, and that's really where our next focus is, to dramatically increase access to the sport across the entire socioeconomic spectrum across the whole country, so that we increase the number of people playing and benefiting from the sport. And then, of course, as it relates to this championship, it just increases the pipeline of players who potentially could become national and world champions.
Yeah, I mean, certainly we know that there's a crop of the 8-year-old girl or the 8-year-old boy out there who may find themselves on this court in 15 years, who just needs to have that chance to play, and all that work around access and making sure that everyone has an opportunity to do so is certainly, I know, what we're all excited about. So I'm going to let you go down, Kevin, in a second, and enjoy this amazing final. Pretty cool showcase to end the season here with Amanda Sobey, our U.S. #1, world #4, taking on her younger son, who actually beat her in this event in 2014 before. So I think we're in for some fun squash, and then later tonight we're going to get a chance to welcome and honor all of the high performance program athletes who are here and celebrate their accomplishments over the past season. So really a fun kind of culminating night to our performance players, and we're happy you're here, and we appreciate you stopping in and joining us.
Thanks, Dan. And I would just close on saying that I give a lot of credit to these athletes who have persevered through some really difficult times and who ultimately have excelled. And Sabrina and Amanda are two perfect examples of that, where not only has Amanda raised her game to be #3 in the world this season, but she's also taken on another role in being a real inspiration to people all over the world in terms of facing her personal challenges head on. And Sabrina, is a wonderful talent and a wonderful person, and it's really great to see her get the most out of her game as well. So looking forward to the match, looking forward to the evening, and thanks for all you're doing, Dent, and I'll see you soon.
All right, well, go enjoy the match. Thank you so much, President and CEO Kevin Klipstein of U.S. Squash. Thanks for joining us.
The 2022 U.S. Women's and SL Green U.S. Men's National Championships. We just witnessed a world-class performance and crowned our first champion of the evening in Timmy Brownell. We now move on to one of the most highly anticipated matches in American squash history, where we will see two top 25 players in the world go at it for the U.S. Women's Championship in the Sobey sisters. By special request, they have asked you to get loud, be proud, and cheer at the top of your lungs as they are looking for you for the energy. Our referee on the call is one, the only, Mike Riley. And now, introducing first, she took down the #2 seed last night in the semifinals with compatriot Olivia Fichter. She is the 2014 national champion, currently ranked number 22 in the world. Please give it up for Sabrina Roadrunner Sobey. Good luck. And her opponent, considered to be one of the pioneers of women's squash in the United States. She is a 4-time national champion, seeking her 5th national title. Please give a round of applause for world number 4, Amanda Southpaw Sobey.
All right, we are back here for our second match of the U.S. Championships here, and one that I know the entire squash community has been really excited about. We've got world number 4, Amanda Sobey, the top seed in this event and 4-time champion, taking on world number 22, and younger sister Sabrina Sobey, who is the 2014 champion in this event. And I am joined by a new special guest, someone we're really honored to have here in the booth, Olivia Blatchford-Klein. Welcome.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks for having me.
So I'm sure everyone who's watching knows, but Olivia is one of the most decorated athletes in U.S. squash history and continues to stack up more accolades. But we're just so fortunate to have you and lend your expertise. And you obviously know these two players very well and have played them for years.
I think that the first part was that you're just calling me old, Dan.
No, not
No.
a burgeoning experienced athlete. Yes.
There we go. That's what I preferred. No. Obviously, I've played Amanda and Sabrina now for many, many years, and it's been quite exciting to see just the growth of U.S. squash and how strong, our once junior team is now a senior team. So it's very exciting.
Well, and you've won this title multiple times, twice I believe. And what does it feel like to walk out there, at the beginning of a final when you've dedicated your life to this, and this is the U.S. Championship. This is the big one for all these U.S. players.
I have to admit I'm a little bit jealous of these players tonight, not just because I wish I was playing, but because of the atmosphere. The other events have been kind of placed and dotted around, and yes, they're just as special. You're trying just as hard to win, and to be national champion is something that's so special, but there's no doubt in my mind that this particular one at the Specter Center is just going to be so special for everyone. And I think there's no doubt in my mind that will play, a part in tonight's match. There's going to be a rise in atmosphere, and obviously they're sisters, so that always, adds a little bit of fuel to the fire.
Yeah, you can see you were talking about the atmosphere, the lighting the Specter Center behind, and a great crowd that we've got here tonight. A lot of excitement around this match, and as you said, it's got to be a tough dynamic, playing your sister, and both of them know what tough competitors they are as squash players, but it's such a different dynamic just to have to deal with all the mental pieces that come along with playing your sibling and someone you're so close to.
I can only imagine. My sister and I never really played, but I used to have a lot of battles in practice with my brother, and those never ended that well, to be perfectly honest, let alone when you have something like a national title on the line. And obviously, it's no longer, I think, this idea of, you're kind of going to just trot through and see what happens. This matters. It's, people can be as performance oriented as possible, and this is for a national title. It's something, it's elevated,
Well, and interestingly, I mentioned it right at the beginning of the warm-up here, but Sabrina, when she won her title in 2014, which was a real surprise, a real upset, she was still a teenager, but she beat Amanda in 3 in the final, which was kind of one of those jaw-drop moments for everyone of being like, oh, because, Amanda had been such a topic of conversation. The two of you had been at the top of the women's game for quite a while, and suddenly Sabrina comes up and beats her 8 years ago in this event. It was really an amazing championship she captured.
Yeah, she blew everyone away. It was down at UVA at the Boar's Head Club, I believe. She just came out firing, and I think it's a very interesting thing that it's kind of perfect that they're in contrast in the white and the black tonight, because they really are such contrasting characters, not just squash players, which they're very contrasting players as well, but just their entire characters are very different. And I think, it's funny. I think what drives one crazy about the other is are both such special traits that they have. Sabrina's that kind of free flowing. You never know what you're gonna get from her, and when she produces, it's like, okay, this is real deal. This is beauty, and there's a lot of art and kind of sometimes some randomness to it that makes it special. Whereas Amanda is this diligent hard work. She's gonna take up the pace. She wants to take the ball in short, powerfully, and really is very disciplined in the way that she goes. And I think it's really going to be special tonight.
Well, last night in the semifinals, we had Sabrina look really, really good against Olivia Specter. Olivia's up to number 10 in the world now, has been playing really well this season, and Sabrina looked extremely locked in. She was absolutely bounding around the court. She was using the entire court, adding pace where appropriate, attacking really well. Like that looked like an excellent performance from her.
Oh, 100%. She looked ready to go, and I think, at the end of the day, all you can do is put yourself in the best position to play the best possible. And she's definitely, I can tell, just having been around her for the last how many months being here more regularly, that she's definitely really coming into her own, and I think the more grounded she feels, the better.
And Amanda looked very sharp last night as well, as unfortunately you know all too well.
Yeah.
You were our other semifinalist, and she looked great. Obviously, you had a really good tournament, but she looked really tough to beat last night.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, she's gearing up. She flies out tomorrow to go and play the World Tour Finals, and she's in business. She's not messing around here, and I think, it's just very hard to break down. We'll see. I think Sabrina's going to give it a really good go here. But I'm excited to watch this. It's going to be high quality.
Just out for Amanda there. Sabrina capturing the first. We're off and running here in the 2022 U.S. Championship Finals. Sister battle with Sabrina Sobey and Amanda Sobey. Here, for those of you that are just joining us in the commentary booth, Dent Wilkins from U.S. Squash with Olivia Blatchford-Klein, who we're really lucky to have, giving us her insight throughout this match. Now, early on, they each obviously have their strengths. I'll start with Sabrina. What will she be looking to do in order to, try and neutralize some of Amanda's offense, or what do you think Sabrina will try to establish early here?
I think she's going to want to work this ball around a lot, use the angle. She's got a lovely boast. They both really do. It's just Amanda's is more of an attacking hard boast, whereas Sabrina's is kind of more of a feeling away, a different kind of texture. I think she's going to try and see if she can elongate the court as much as possible, try and get Amanda into the front corners, but not in a desperate way, but just in a, okay, let's use the whole court. Let's really try and open up all four corners, as opposed to being, kind of glued to this idea of, it's easy to get stuck into, oh, well, Amanda's a left-handed player. Let's play it to the right side of the court. Mm-hmm. I don't think she's going to do that. I think she's going to try and play all four, keep Amanda guessing, keep Amanda honest as much as possible.
Nice Amanda calling out on herself there, too. Sabrina also calling it on her, so both sisters working together to call that ball down. And then for Amanda, what would you expect to see from her early as she tries to get herself running?
I think you're going to see her really wanting to try and dominate that middle of the court, as she always does. She's got a fantastic volley. She's really wicked across that middle area, and I think she's just going to do her best to really solidify that area, take Sabrina in, and limit the options of Sabrina.
It's got to feel challenging. You obviously have felt when Amanda gets in those rhythms where she is across the midcourt, she is applying that pace. Like, it's got to feel like you just have very little time to actually settle a point down, because there's so much pressure that she's looking to apply on every single shot. She doesn't necessarily like just being in a gentle rhythm, right? She's always trying to create some damage with every time she strikes the ball.
Just like that, right? She really does have such a lovely weight of shot, and it's a hard hit, crisp ball nearly every time. If you give her, some time and space, it's a bad idea. You don't want to be in that position, and honestly, being on the other end of it, it is not fun. I think, they both have tall orders, because they're both they actually do both feed really well off of rhythm. Mm-hmm. They want to be disruptors, and it'll be interesting to see who's who's able to actually take control of the disruption. Mm-hmm. Really, I think it is the easiest way of saying it.
This is a fun start, as expected, neck and neck, both of them not willing to give an inch early. And it's nice to see, too, it's free-flowing, moving around each other nicely. And they both play just like a really fun brand of squash to watch, too. Just, the pace, the angles, the movement. Amanda's ability to just like absolutely thump it and attack. Sabrina's gazelle-like movement out there. Both just a real joy to watch.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it really is quite special that you have like they're such different players, right? And I think it's kind of a testament to like just how unique the game of squash is in general, that there's 10,000 ways to skin the cat, and it makes it really fun. But it does boil back down to kind of those foundational things, which is they both have really, really lovely technique. It doesn't break down under pressure. Even if you think that, Sabrina gets a lot more balls back perceptively, Amanda's onto that ball so early. She actually has very efficient movement around the court. And, I think it's one of those things where they both do the basics extremely well, and then they are able to build on that with their own unique styles.
And I think, we've seen Amanda, how much work she's done on that explosive movement. And, even coming off, obviously, her Achilles injury that she suffered playing you down in Columbia 5 years ago. I remember, she said, she's like, I thought Olivia hit me with the ball, and, it went. But, she's really sprung back even stronger, and, as you said, has not just the explosive ball striking, but that explosive movement to get on it early.
Absolutely. And I think, obviously she's constantly competing with the top players in the world. Those girls are incredible athletes. And if you aren't moving, it's stunning. It's absolutely stunning.
And that shows how you said earlier, like Amanda may kind of thump in that attack, but Sabrina will sometimes feather it in there and can be so accurate. And it's interesting to see just the different way that they each strike the ball. You would think growing up as sisters, kind of, both working with their dad in different ways and similar coaches sometimes, like the, you would think that technique would mirror each other, but it really doesn't. They both have very much their own style.
No, and they both play to their strengths, I think, which is just, it really is very special. This is going to be a great match. The quality already is so high. It's so impressive. And we're 6-3 in the first game, 4-6 now.
Nice movement there by Amanda, right on that ball early. So what's it like right now? I mean, for the first time ever, we've got 4 women in the top 25 in the world, which was really just a pipe dream, when you were younger, and in juniors, to think that we would be at this point where we've got that. And then the next crop coming up, we saw you having to beat Marina, who we had in the booth last night, after, she took that first game from you, and she was commenting on the fact of like, wow, for me in the past it was like just an honor to be out there with Olivia, but now like I feel like maybe I can like start to play with pressure against these top women and feel like I belong. So that next crop is coming up behind. But what's it like just to be a part of the state of this amazing women's squash that's being played at the top level in the U.S. right now?
I mean, it's really is exhilarating. I've been so lucky that I've got really to be a part of this. I feel from the very beginning, I've kind of seen the women's team go, the junior team go from, 8th to 4th to 2nd. And I've seen, our women's team go from, 17th, 13th to 5th. And it really is so exciting. And obviously our depth it's just getting stronger and stronger. We have players like Marina coming through, and it's so true. When I played her the other night, she's not, it's not and it's enjoyable, but it's also not enjoyable, right? There's a very fine line between enjoyment and like, okay, I got to get the job done here. And she's not going away.
Right. Well, I think, she was saying she's played you in this event so many times as a youngster, and she got through, at when it was held in D.C., I think back in 2019, the event that you won, she was a teenager at that time, and you kind of know you're a top pro, you can kind of handle and just apply pressure, but, unfortunately, juniors grow up, and they're all trying to chase you down. They're all trying to chase you down.
No, it's so true. I mean, I had a very similar experience playing Natalie Granger, who's my coach for a very long time, where it's very hard, even at moments, and I still think I've got Marina at the moment on the squash before the age is going to set in and her skill will be too good for me. And I remember how hard it was, even when I felt like maybe at that moment, I could have beaten Natalie, that I maybe had gotten enough to outlast her, because her squash skill was always so strong, but her
Wow.
ability to stay in it was incredible as well. So I totally understand what it's like to feel that battle.
What a point there. You hear the
Yeah.
crowd absolutely loving that. Just exceptional squash for Sabrina to Edgershow out. And, Amanda has kind of brought this game back to level after Sabrina got a little lead. But I think you're going to see some amazing high place points here at the end of this first game.
Yeah, there's about to be a lot of hard work, right? This middle bit, it's business time, and these next kind of 2-3 points, I think, to get to 9, it's very important, and you want to be that person going first. Oof.
Again, you see Sabrina, two winners in the last 2 points. Just she's got basically every shot in the book when she wants to use it.
Totally. She's relaxed, and you can tell she's game for this. She's up for this. Oh, that's lovely.
Wow, took that so early. Beautiful little step across.
She's feeling it out. Like, she's feeling this. I think she's reading the ball well. And, at the end of the day, too, they do know each other's rhythm patterns, right? They do know when the other wants to open up the court, maybe take an opportunity. And I feel like at the moment that's boding really well for Sabrina.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Amanda adjusts here. If she, obviously doesn't want to let this first one go, and certainly far from over. But it's on Amanda's plate to make the adjustment at this point, because Sabrina does look really, really strong right now, as you said.
Totally, and Amanda has the ability to rattle off a succession of points extremely quickly
in 10 seconds. Yeah.
Maybe not if you put one like that, but she does have the ability. You are never safe.
All right, here we go. Four game balls for Sabrina, looking to take lead in her U.S. Championship final here.
Oof.
Oh, and there's another mistake. So a little mental lapse at the end there for Amanda. What a strong start for Sabrina, though. She looked excellent in that game.
Fantastic, really. She's spot on. She's reading the ball well. She's moving, as per the usual, extremely well. And be interesting to see what Amanda does here.
So we have a break between games. This came up the other night, and I wanted to ask you quickly. There's a story of the first time that you and Amanda played. You're similar age.
Not this one.
Similar age, and we were relaying that I believe it was the first round of either the under-12s or the under-13 championship, and you were the number 1 seed, and there was this new upstart youngster who was playing, and you played her in the first game, and you beat her at love in the second, and maybe took your foot off the gas a little bit in the third, because you felt bad for this poor this poor new player named Amanda Sobey, and how it was going.
I mean, to be fair, she was very close to tears, and I'm not. In retrospect, you put the foot down, you hand out the triple bagel, you move on. Right, but I couldn't do it.
Have you told Amanda this, that if you could take it back, you would have gone 3 for 3?
I don't know if I've said it to her, face to face, but I'm sure she realizes now how much regret stands with that decision.
If you had your time machine, you may have made
100%,
different
100%. I'm like, nip that in the bud while you could, Olivia. Seriously.
Well, we had so much fun, all the time in junior. She obviously kept improving, and that was the last chance you had to triple bagel her. But but there were so many years in there where she was the chaser. You were on top, and just so many fun matches. I remember at those JCTs and the junior championships and stuff where. I love those battles. It was some of the best junior squash in the world. It was just super fun to watch you two battle.
At the time, by the time we were in the under-19s, I say by the time we're in the under-19s, we were both playing under-19s from, for me it was 13 trying to make a world junior team, and I think for Amanda it was very shortly after that age. We were both ranked in the top 50 in the world, right? So we had national finals where you had 2 players in the top 50. That's pretty special. I mean, they see that in Egypt, but maybe not so much,
Sure.
or haven't seen as much of that here, though. You know, that's changing now.
Well, here we are, beginning of the second game. You see both players looking to play a really steady first point. You know, this is a big kind of moment for Amanda. She'll be looking, that's a great boast. She'll be looking to disrupt Sabrina's rhythm because Sabrina just looks so confident at the end of that first game. So this is where, you know, if anyone can impose herself upon the beginning of a game, it's certainly Amanda. So we'll see what she has to offer here.
Absolutely.
Sabrina,
Oof, that's
willing,
nice too.
very willing to go in.
I mean, if you're feeling it, and I think that it is such a fine line, you know, you can't doubt, you can't hesitate. If you're going to make a decision, you're going to go and attack that ball in, you have to do it. And if you're feeling it, and it's you know, for Sabrina, it's been coming off. She's made next to no errors. You got to take advantage of that. But that's, I mean, again, if you one mistake, one ball that isn't perfect, and it's just absolutely
Trouble.
hammered.
Yeah.
It's hammered.
Would you know, in those times, you've been in those moments where you're really flowing, you do feel it, you know, would you change your tactics in those moments just knowing that you've got stuff at your fingertips, or kind of stick with the rhythm that got you into that?
Yeah, you know, I think it's one of those things where you're not trying to pull. Rarely is it that you know, nicks are just coming off the tip of your racket. It's usually the flow is a kind of a hybrid between you know, your hands following direction of your brain and what you want to do out there, being able to for those things to coexist and thrive, you know, together. I don't think you would change, and I don't think it's even necessarily conscious when you're doing it. I think it's more of this kind of this feeling, you're in there, you're perceptive, but at the same time you're non-judgmental.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of happening, and I think you're like, okay, I'm going to do this. And once, at the moment you start to force it, it's gone anyway, right? It's like that elusive, you know, hold on loosely but don't let go type of situation. So it'll be interesting, you know. Obviously now we've got Amanda's in the lead. She made it her business that she's going to come out here firing. She wants to put that stamp down, like, nope, hey, you want to do this? You know, you're going to have to. We're going up here. But it's a very interesting. There's a battle going out there that isn't just you know, shots and thought. It's a feeling and an energy, I think, too. That's lovely. Wow.
It's such a positive start. I mean, it's so fascinating just watching the ebb and flow of matches when people are evenly matched. You know, it's never just this steady road. You know, each person will have their surge. Each person will, you know, find little moments of success, and then the other person has to make the change and respond. And you know, it's you can't assume any kind of set of points, right? You just need to keep adjusting to whatever's thrown in front of you.
Absolutely, and I think that's in many ways it's one of the really is the beautiful part of squash. You know, in the beginning when you're just learning, it's very simple. You know, my opponent's in the front, I hit to the back. You know, my opponent's in the back, I hit to the front. It becomes a very simple, you know, easy tactic. And even back when we had, you know, old scoring of, you know, you had to be serving to win a rally, or a point rather, you had this built in, like, I'm serving, I'm attacking, I'm receiving, I'm defending. And it was a very, you know, this new scoring it adds complexity. And I think once you get to this level, right, these players are clearly, you know, Sabrina may be ranked 22, but her standard is far, far higher than 22 in the world. She can challenge any of the top girls on her day. That's lovely. I mean, that's what she's able to produce,
world class,
right? That's
right,
world
yeah.
class, right? And when you get to this stage, all of a sudden it really is it's nuance. It's so delicate. It's little decisions being made. You know, it's very delicate, and it really becomes it's so beautiful when it's played like this, right? And that is the goal, right? You want to play at this standard. That's why you do it. You know.
I would like to play at the standard. Do you have any tips that can make me play at the standard? That'd be great.
I'm
You
working on it
mentioned your brain
myself.
telling your hand what to do, and I'd be interested in how to achieve that. Yeah.
I'm telling you, I say it, but I'm still learning it myself. I've been doing this for 25 years, and I'm like, come on, you know, when's it gonna click?
At some point, I beat Amanda when she was like, I don't know, 6 years old or something like that, and I haven't played her since. But I try to give her a really hard time that I currently hold the edge against her.
Oh, totally. You have to keep it.
And there's no way I'm ever stepping on court against her again. Hopefully, she doesn't listen to this.
She's gonna challenge you. She takes those things very seriously as well. You can't. I feel like she's the first person to be like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, she would be willing to do the triple bagel. She
Yeah.
wouldn't, if I was crying
yeah.
in the third
Ruthless.
game. Yeah, she would not take her foot off the gas.
Ruthless.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, here we go. Like Sabrina, is steadied out enough here just to keep it close. She wants to see if Amanda will tighten up a little bit.
Oh, that's lovely. Wow. She is. She's just lethal.
Amanda at shoulder height in the midcourt on that left wall. It's
bad idea.
So
right?
so many options from there.
Oh, totally.
And from very little swing, too. I mean, that was a slightly bigger swing, but, like, she can take that short back swing and generate so much pace and really take it anywhere in the court from there.
Absolutely. I mean, I think she really does, use her body so... Oh, that's stunning. Even there,
Amanda I was about to say the Sobe forehand, but yeah, the Amanda forehand.
She's in her legs. She uses her hips. She times the ball so well that she doesn't have to do much. She doesn't have to manufacture that much energy through the hand. She's got quick hands. I wouldn't say she's taking a big swing. She gets through the ball quickly, and she uses her body so well. Her hips are always into every shot.
And that makes it really tough to read, right? Because there's so little coming from the racket, so you don't have the time to react to the way the swing is being generated.
Absolutely. You want people to take big swings. You want to have time to get an eye of, okay, what can they possibly do? The shorter the swing, especially when you are in a good body position, man, you just don't, especially someone of Amanda's caliber and her strength, is just, you just don't want to be standing behind that person.
Oof.
Like there.
A series
too.
of weaponry there from Sabrina. Great creativity throughout that point.
Yeah, these rallies are tough. Even the ones where
like
someone isn't on a string, it's just so physically demanding. They're both prepared so early. It's got that built-in deception, that built-in you have to wait. The anticipation factor, although there, is nullified because you have to wait.
Is that tougher on your legs too once you're actually like made to kind of not just have your normal split step and change rhythm?
Absolutely. If you have to start from stop, that is very hard work to do, especially over an extended period of time. If you're moving already, you're gonna be all right. Even if you're having to do the sprints, as exhausting as that is, if you have to stop and wait, it breaks you, right? That extra second on the tee, you're like, I don't want to do that work. And it's a slow, sneaky, sneaks up on you. Oh yeah.
Here we go into the teeth of the second game here. Amanda just 2 points away from the game. Amanda showing no respect for our beautiful new glass courts here at the Specter Center, just attempting to hit the ball through the front wall.
Yeah. But it's, she does hit it so hard, but it is weighted, it's not flying off the back.
Yeah.
It's just it's like this relentless, it is just so punishing.
I mean, she'll frequently force players to take that hard back step and take it before it reaches the back wall because it's going to die afterwards, and that takes a ton out. Boast of pace there. Sabrina's going nowhere here.
Yeah. And this is when it's this crunch time moment where even though, Amanda has a 2-point lead and obviously had a larger lead, and it is, kind of going away, it's these next points are even more important than what they feel like, just from an emotional standpoint. Whether you win them or not, the importance of showing up, they're both trying to dominate. It really is so important right now.
Sabrina's putting together just some beautiful points. Nice little
Totally.
delay there.
Oh wow, well executed too. Very well adapted.
Showing a great example of how she just builds pressure, right? Like each shot a little bit more, Amanda, rightly so, wanting to reset, take a little break, and see if she can find a way to stop Sabrina's run here.
Absolutely, and you saw that little head nod, like Sabrina wants us. She's sniffing the blood a little bit here.
You never know with Sabrina. She may be sniffing blood, or she may have some cool music in her head, and she's just bobbing along. Yeah, she's
absolutely.
The free-flowing creative of the women's national team, I think.
Totally. Oof.
Wow.
I think that it should be just the Sobe boast is just really is the most superb boast on the women's tour.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. They both hit beautiful, so different but so beautiful. They really do just elongate that court so much.
And here we go, Amanda giving herself 2 game points, looking to even this match.
Oof.
You're saying just
Wow.
caught the 10, Amanda agreeing. It's tough to tell from up here, but so it is. And 11-8 in that game for Amanda. Really nice response after the first game won by Sabrina.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what you have to do. There's no chance that she wants to find herself, facing a 2-love deficit. You don't want to find yourself there, especially, it's one of those things too. And people say, oh, the difference between 2-love and 1-all. It really is, though. I mean, obviously, like, straightforward, you're trying to get to 3. The closer you are to 3, the better. But really, emotionally speaking, forget the skill base, because both players could possibly win from 2-love down. You just don't want to be in that position.
Right. Yeah. And, we were talking about Sabrina's win in 2014 in this event, but Amanda has the best pedigree of anyone on the women's or men's side in this event. She's got 4 titles, and that's with actually both obviously not being held for several years due to COVID, and also with a couple times where she wasn't able to play this event. So, she's proven her mettle in this, proven that, she knows what it takes to win this, and not surprising with how close these two are, both in level, and socially, that we find ourselves at 1-all here. So we're getting the match we hoped for.
Exactly. What more can you ask for?
Snack.
Yeah, beer. No, it's exciting. I think it really is so special. It's a perfect spectacle to end, I guess Amanda has one more tournament, but to kind of end the season here, at the national championships, at the Arlen Specter National Center. This is very, very high quality squash, and what more? That's you can't ask for more than that.
Yeah, I mean, here at the Specter Center, I'd love to get your impressions. You've been putting in work here this year, and personally, we want to thank you. It's been so much fun because not only great to see you on court and working so hard in training, but you've also given your time. You've gotten out there with a bunch of the Learn to Play junior clinics and kind of given your knowledge and passing it down to people who've never stepped on the court before as part of this. So it's been a really cool first year here.
Yeah, I felt very lucky to get to be a part of the, a lot of the community programs that Socorro has been running, and bringing these kids from schools that don't have access. I was very lucky. I always had access to this game. I had parents who played and loved the game. They would bring me along, and to get to share my love of the game with people, it really is so special. And to see the kids grow and to take interest in it and to watch them get excited about their skills growing, it really is just so exciting.
Yeah, we've felt very fortunate, and just very fortunate to hold this event here for the first time. It's such a amazing showcase for the sport, and it's so exciting for all of us in the U.S. squash community just to have athletes like we've been seeing tonight to be able to put on this court. They're just such a credit to the sport, not only just in the level that we've been talking about, but the way they play the game. You could see plenty of sibling rivalries in many sports or other things that turn into a bit of a bloodbath out there.
Totally.
But you see the mutual respect they have for each other, and in the match with Timmy and Todd, you saw them both call some balls down on each other or on themselves, and really just work cooperatively and play open and free squash. So we feel very fortunate for all of you and the ambassadors that you are for the game.
I appreciate that. It's really fun. We go to work together. It is a community. We go to work together. We're all colleagues, but at the same time, we all just love this game, right? And that's as simple as it sounds. That really is, the crux of it. Everyone loves this game, right? You're not here if you don't. Interesting. This is taking a turn I did not see coming.
Yeah, a little bit of a surprise. A couple soft points, a couple strong ones from Sabrina, but she finds herself up quickly here after her tough second.
Maybe a little, Sabrina had that little, kind of fight back at the end, and although she didn't, seal the deal of winning that game, that little bit of fight back, it makes a difference. You start with a momentum, even if you don't win the game. Her energy going in was positive with those, the last couple of points. I mean, that's just spectacular choice. It's so well straightened.
I mean, I'm interested in more of that perspective from you. We've had a couple guests talk about this kind of at the end of a game, even if you are down. What mentality did you take into it? It sounds like, you really believe that momentum, even if you lost the game, matters.
100%.
Amanda there.
I think she's made a really good decision here to have a little bit of a towel off and recollect herself and set herself, because this is not the normal her making these kind of errors. She doesn't make successive errors, so I think that's a great decision, kind of collect herself. Obviously, Sabrina's trying to get on with it. But yeah, I think honestly, the idea of ever throwing a point or a game or anything has never ever occurred to me personally. I just couldn't personally do it. But I really do believe that the importance of setting yourself, and even if it's you play 3 really quality rallies before the game ends, to just go into that next game with 3 really solid, well constructed rallies, it really is so valuable. It sets you. I mean, this is just crazy. Oh, well, that was just really well selected.
See Amanda looking almost a little frustrated there, just in kind of what do I need to do?
She's doing a lot of work.
She's adding pace, but Sabrina is matching that with her own, and it's impressive kind of bounce back here after that second for Sabrina.
I mean, it's just so frustrating when you have to hit the extra ball, right, and you're getting closer and closer to the tin because, your opponent is getting that ball back. They're getting it back with interest. It's not like it's just, I'm going to float it up and it's going to hit the front wall. Sabrina's getting these balls back, and she's putting them into good places. And now she's able to play with more confidence. All of a sudden, it's next rally. Ooh, she sees it. And then we have this, 7-point gap that now we're getting a little bit, it's running away from Amanda.
Yep. Let's see what Amanda does at the end of this game here. It's a good tall order for her to come back and win it, but see if she can put together some positive points and take that momentum, as you said, into the fourth. And obviously, you never know, right?
Totally.
Again, with Amanda's firepower, she can put herself back in any game.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. And as we saw in the last game, 3 good rallies can get you that type of lead in the next game. And how valuable is that? Shot.
Yeah, beautiful there. Amanda, there are a lot of lefties who are not as strong on that right wall, especially way above their head with that backhand, but I think Amanda, best in the world from up there on her high backhand. She can just still generate so much offense and pace from up there.
Absolutely. I mean, I think, as I said before, it's so easy to kind of get wrapped up. Ooh, see? A couple good rallies, and then all of a sudden, there's still a large deficit, but just a little doubt creeps in. No, maybe those aren't going in anymore, right? At 9-2, those weren't.
Those are easy,
right?
Yep.
Yeah, you're executing that. But yeah, I think Amanda's had to deal with that onslaught onto that backhand for so long that you're like, that has to get better. And she's done a lot of work up there. I mean, she's obviously an extremely strong athlete to begin with, particularly on the volley. But it was only a matter of time before she really got that really, tighted up there. Ooh, see? All of a sudden, it's like a little bit of doubt, a little bit of change. And how quickly that can change. It's insane.
We've seen 4 straight points from Amanda here, looking to impose herself. You can see both players taking a little walkabout. They're working extremely hard right now. It's tough to tell from outside the court, but both of them are heart rate is through the roof right now. 100%.
They're playing each other to all 4 corners, and it's a lot of work, let alone the emotion behind it. They're playing, their sister, and they both want to win. It's a national championship final, right? Just the adrenaline's so high.
Look at that ball striking again. Amanda injecting pace down that right wall. Now only within 2 points. She's won, I believe, 5 straight now. She's down 9-2.
Crazy. Crazy. I will say, I think emotionally speaking, if Amanda was to sneak this game, I think that would be a hard pill to swallow for Sabrina. So I think it's very important for Sabrina to stick in there right now. She wants this game for sure. It's lovely. She's getting involved. She's getting it back. This is so hard. This is brutal.
Oh, it's out. Amanda pulls herself within one. What for Allie? See the crowd really enjoying this. Like, people are getting their money worth. People are getting their money's worth here with this amazing women's final.
Absolutely. I don't know about you, I'm like starting to sweat a little bit. You know, it gets a little tight at the end. You're like watching.
It's the hardest I've worked in weeks. It's tiring,
get a little
more
sweat
tiring
going.
than
I'm like,
playing
what's
squash.
happening? What's going on? What's a boot? That's a butte. Oh, she got it.
There we
Oh,
go.
nice.
Nice turnaround. That trickle boast, I mean, what feel for the court. And just recognizing just that little bit of moment, maybe feeling Amanda's balance slightly back. That was absolutely gorgeous.
No, stunning. Stunning.
All right, well, here it is, Sabrina. 2 game points. Take a 2-1 lead here in the Women's Championship.
Oh, that's lovely length.
Ooh, it's tight.
That's lovely. Well lifted. Jeez. This is hard work. This is really, wow. Wow. This is a lot of hard work going in here.
Both of them looking even straighter. Really, you know, occasional cross courts lifting, but you're seeing them both straighten out. I think worried, knowing how good each of them.
Oh,
wow!
Jeez, man.
Amanda makes me eat my words and immediately cuts a cross court for a winner. That was so well measured. I mean, that got down fast.
But I think it was because it was a straighter, less open rally. They were both shutting each other down with the straight length. That you get a racket on that, and you're able to whip through the way Amanda is. It's just, I mean, it's detrimental, right?
Interesting choice for that because, like, you know, instead of just playing a standard cross court, which you might in a normal rhythm.
Oh my good God! Of course it is. Of course it is. We're 10 all.
Here we go.
Oh man! Oh man! That was just glued. Those ones when you're able to sneak it like that, and you get someone to hit the glass with their racket, and that. It is the most that is the most satisfying feeling, right? When
even
you
more than a nick or something else,
no,
just when you glue it and like
nicks,
force it into the
nicks are, a dime a dozen.
Well, for
those
you maybe, but okay, it's good to know.
But those shots, when you are able to sneak that through, thread that needle, I mean, oh, it is just so satisfying.
Great get by Sabrina there. That almost got down in the back for Amanda.
Ooh.
Here you see Sabrina's amazing movement. I mean, this point should have been over by now, but she's found a way to keep herself in.
Tight. Oh my gosh.
Wow. Nice job by Amanda. She then was put under pressure. She stuck in it. And now, after being, I believe, 9-2 down, Amanda finds herself with a game ball here in the second. What a comeback so far.
It's just a testament. I mean, she is a consummate professional. She approaches every rally with discipline, and I think that's what happens. You're able, if you are a clutch player like she is, she puts in the work, that she approaches every rally of every training session just like this. You have that to fall back on. So 9-2 down, no big, right?
Problem.
She doesn't have to. Yeah, she doesn't have to produce.
Wow.
This is just as she does, Oh,
Great get by
jeez,
Sabrina
that's a great
there.
get.
Defense is unreal.
This quality is so great. I thought she was gonna get the lucky bounce there. I really did.
It's when your heart sinks when you see that ball bounce like that. You're trying to get back. Tight balls here.
Ugh. Oh my gosh,
That
that's
ball
tight.
striking by Amanda.
Oh
Wow.
wow.
See, she knows what a big deal that was.
100%.
Winning 10 of the last 11 points to come back. Amanda Sobey taking a 2-1 lead. Wow. Olivia, I'm out of breath. It was
I'm
absolutely amazing.
sweating. I'm so sweat through my jacket here.
For everyone here, we're joined joined here by Olivia Klein, U.S. legend, and so much fun to be here in the booth with you, Olivia, and we get to watch this great match between two sisters, world number 4 Amanda, world number 22 Sabrina. Sabrina played such a good game there, and she gave a couple away kind of early on after she was up 9-2 there, but they both stuck in towards the end of that game, and they're brutal rallies.
It's I think even more so that kind of yell of like grit and determination that came from Amanda after she secured that game it's even less like, okay, I won that game, but just that type of grit that is required to get there. It was huge, that the ability to turn that on, to play every single rally to the best of her ability for that extended period. I mean, it's just honestly that is why she is has been as high as 3 in the world.
Well, when you send that message a little bit to your, I mean, it's positive energy. It wasn't aimed at Sabrina, right? But you're sending that message of like, this is going to be brutal if you want to try and get through this, right?
Like, I'm not giving you a single thing, right? You can be 9-2 up. I'm not giving you an inch.
I think the best competitors, and that's what separates, in certain ways, like the top couple, the 3, 4, 5 top women on tour, who have found some of that consistency where, you just know that if you're going to beat them, and, everyone at this level is good enough to beat them, right?
Totally.
Yourself, Sabrina, Olivia Fichter, like everyone, but that in order to get through an Amanda, to get through a Noran Gohar or something like that, like you are going to have to completely lock in and be there for it all the way through the end, because they're not going to give you that space later on in these matches.
No, it almost requires this out of body concentration. I think that, and it is. I say out of body because you almost can't. You try and find it too hard, and you're not going to find it. And you don't try and find it, and you're not going to find it. Right? It's as I said, it's kind of this elusive mindset, this elusive energy,
right.
And it really is it's hard.
Well, here we go. Game 4. Amanda Sobey looking for her 5th U.S. women's title. Sabrina Sobey looking for her 2nd. It's just so much fun to watch these two sisters compete. We're really fortunate to be here. We've got a great crowd at the Arlen Specter U.S. Squash Center in Philadelphia, and we feel really fortunate to have all of you with us to watch this live stream. Thank you so much for joining. Olivia, let's settle in. You and I were a little tired after the 3rd, but we are going to push through and watch this 4th. So great. I feel that first point is so important for Sabrina there, after you've just given away that 3rd game a bit, just to not let the flood continue, right?
100%. And I think, as much as Sabrina did lose that, and she is 2-1 down, she put a lot of hard work into the legs of Amanda. So if she can kind of forget the result of it, forget the outcome, which was, okay, yeah, she had a big lead and she didn't end up taking that game. If she can take it for what it was, which was a ton of work in both of their legs, it will bode well for her, actually.
It's interesting you see in this last point Sabrina being really willing to go up front, several balls in a row, like taking the front. So I think you're right. She may be testing Amanda's legs here a little bit and seeing what's left in the tank after such a tough first 3 games.
And just like Amanda was like, I'm not going away, Sabrina's like, I'm not going away either.
I mean, even against someone else, if you might give a little ground, never to your sibling.
Never.
You can't let her get that edge.
Never, ever, right? And I think it's just, it really is spectacular, because this really is like the definition of battle, right? Well, I'm not giving. Well, I'm not giving. No, well, I'm not giving in. And it's that rivalry, and it is exacerbated and energized by the siblingness of it all.
Right.
Pair of 2s. Ooh.
Well,
Amanda's quick
right
to-
where in the beginning, I did want to mention quickly, you alluded to it, Amanda, I believe, leaving tomorrow for the World Tour Finals. Want to encourage everyone who's watching here today to lend some U.S. support to Amanda. Make sure you're checking out that as she competes against the world's best. And only the top players in the world who have earned that spot, I believe the top 8 from both sides, earn their spot in the World Tour Finals. It should be a really fun event. I know we're all going to be pulling for Amanda, and as will all of you on Team USA. You all battle out so hard on court, but you're all there for each other afterwards. These are your 2 teammates from the record-setting Lima Pan American Games, where you guys mopped up absolutely everything that there was to grab. You with the silver medal in the individuals, Amanda with the gold. All of you with the team championship.
There was just a lot of gold. It was really a nice trip.
And then the 2 of them won the doubles.
Yeah.
It was an absolutely amazing performance, and the men almost kept up with the women, but not quite.
You know what, though?
So that was just so much fun to watch you all.
Honestly, like for us, there's an element of pressure. We're the hunted, not the hunting, and to deliver like that there's a lot of joy and there's also a lot of relief. But actually watching the boys clinch the team gold was honestly one of my most favorite memories. Oh, and she's volleyed that. Oh my gosh.
Amanda.
This is spectacular. This is a great rally.
You can see the rally almost getting ragged for a little.
It's
I think
out.
that's out. Yep. Wow. That is worthy of the crowd's applause. What an amazing rally.
Absolutely. Jeez.
And sometimes that organization breaks down in the rally, right? You just have to hang on for dear life. And,
You really
get through
do.
it.
But neither one of them got desperate, to be honest with you. I think there was no desperate shot selection, right? Like, even though that ball went out, it was the right shot to hit. It was high. She was trying to give herself time,
Right.
okay? And it just clipped the side wall. There's not a single situation, really, where either one of them has been desperate. And I think that it's really hard not to get desperate out there, right? You're literally in a fishbowl. You know, a good friend once told me it really is like a crazy science experiment. You know, let's take 2 people, give them some sticks and a ball in a glass box and see what
Let 'em go
happens,
at it,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, like that's what you're dealing with. And this is tough.
Ooh, here we go again. It's got to be a stroke, I think. So now we're, Amanda just getting her nose in front here, and she is absolutely going to dig in. She can smell it, at this point. Slight edge, up 2-1, but she knows Sabrina's going to be a tough out. So, we'll see here. This is just super fun to watch, and there's been no pace drop off as well. If anything, they're both going more at it.
Totally. Oh, I just love that. I like that she takes it again, such a short swing, steps forward, it's punched, but to perfect weight. She doesn't overhit that ball. It is dying.
Doesn't catch the side wall. Yep.
It is just perfect. And that ball was not a right to her racket cross court, right? It was a little bit kind of close, and she's still able to adapt so well. I mean, it's so impressive.
Be interested to see here how aggressive Sabrina is into the front. Now she's got no margin for error, right? So, she's going to want to stick to her game plan, but she also knows that a couple mistakes could really put her in trouble. So it'll be interesting to see her tactics here and what she chooses and how aggressive she is.
Yeah, because she needs to keep.
Post.
Oh, that's stunning. She needs to keep working into the front. She needs to expose the whole court, and at the same time, she cannot afford any errors, right? Like that drop shot, that counter drop was near perfection, right?
And I think that was a good no-let call there by the ref. Amanda's got a path through. So, yes, maybe there was slight interference with the racket or one or another, but fair outcome to that rally is a no-let. I think that's a great call.
Absolutely. It's a short ball. It's a tight ball. Those are you feel like you're there, but I don't think she was quite there. I just love
Wow,
both of
look
them.
at this ball striking by Amanda right now. Just
Mm.
absolutely bludgeoning it.
And they both have such really, really great prepared positions on the tee, right? They're able to just, they're not missing any angles because they're so ready and they're hunting any opportunity that comes their way. Sixes, pair of sixes.
Here we go. See, for both players, the wear and tear has got to be, this is so tough mentally and physically in these moments, but they're both completely stuck in.
Oh, totally. It's lovely length. She sets it up so well. Like, I mean, she's able to volley so well because her length is so rock solid. Her standard length is so rock solid. You give her a little bit of room, and it's going to be fading away from you. You're going to be doing work, and she's going to be hunting that volley, right? Like, the battle starts literally return a serve. You got to execute because that next one is going to punish you if it's not good enough. It's lovely too. Good get. Oh, of course, just let him whip that out, whatever,
Yeah, no problem.
Casual. Got that in the back pocket.
And she's behind the service box there too. I mean, that was not an easy position to hit that from.
But she's confident. She knows, and when you're playing a lefty like that with that short swing that you were talking about earlier, I think you can afford a couple more things. I don't know how many lefties you've played, Dent, but like a lefty boast from that side, you don't see a lot of those angles. You don't see a lot of, those cross courts from there too. Yeah.
Oh, despite this onslaught from Amanda, Sabrina's kept it close. She's only 1 point down here.
Wow.
Just down. All right, there we go. Sabrina's leveled it out. Amanda got her nose out in front. Oh, did she break a string?
It looks like it.
Oh, that is brutal. That's probably why it didn't come through and ended up catching that 10. That is a tough.
It looked a little funky for her.
That is a tough time. And this is a real challenge mentally here. I mean, you're at 8-all. You're in the middle of the final. It's huge, and you're not. Neither player is expecting a broken string. So now you've got to find a way to just stay steady mentally, reset, and come out firing because you don't. There's no 1 or 2 points to take off coming out of this short break that'll be here.
Absolutely, it's kind of like, all right, maybe you can do with a couple extra seconds, get some fresh oxygen in your body, but at the same time, it's like I need to stay focused, and it's really is a fine line between, okay, I'm feeling a little bit better, but making sure that you're in there still, like you're still in there,
And you hear the crowd urging on both players. I'm sure they don't want to see this end. They don't want either player to win this at the end of the night. Obviously, one will. There's more hard-hitting commentary. Someone will win this match. But with that little rest, too, I mean, it gives them the opportunity to come out with even more pace.
Totally.
It just, it's not much, 45 seconds or so, but here we go. You hear the crowd. They're ready.
That was a pretty good serve. I'd be a little ticked if I was Sabrina there.
Check the score.
Yeah,
8-all still? Yeah. All right.
Yeah, it was a convenient remembering that. Oh wow.
Just a racket error there, bouncing the back. Sabrina now 3 straight points, I believe, putting herself up 9-8.
Yeah.
Just when we think we know what's happening in this match, the other
Flips.
player turns the script. So.
Oh, that's lovely. Oh wow, that's lovely.
Sabrina just playing enough defense to keep herself in. Oh, what a
Gosh,
get.
what a rally. No. Ooh.
Thinking no let there, yeah?
Yeah, I have to
Ball
say,
was just good enough.
I think it nicked and rolled, and even though Sabrina picks up so many balls, I think that one was just a pure winner, to be honest.
I think that's a good call. Tough call to make, right?
Very
But-
tough.
Okay. All right,
Very
here we go.
tough.
9-all.
Oh,
look at that shot.
Wow. That is
She let
very
that
well
drop a bit too, a
executed.
little delay, and got her racket under that. That is not an easy shot to hit. Wow. And a game ball for Sabrina to even it up at 2-all.
Jeez, look at the quality of the length. So good. Ooh.
What a get.
Oh.
Wow.
For a second there, I thought she, I
Great.
thought she was gonna pick that up.
Great pressure
Oh
from
my
Amanda
gosh,
there. You
wow.
can hear the emotion from her too. She does not want to let this fourth game
No.
go.
Wow. Wow. What a treat, huh?
Yeah, we are lucky to be watching this.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
there we go.
What a rally.
Wow.
Another game ball here for Sabrina. Both of them have to be feeling it right now. That's pretty
Totally.
wild.
Totally. Ooh, it's
That's
tight.
gonna be tight.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's a.
Oh no.
Did they just give a no-let there?
They gave a no-let. It did look far. I definitely don't believe it was a stroke. I have
I
to
don't
say.
think so. I think it was probably, in my opinion, high enough to go get it. But that's
I thought so too. I
that
mean,
is
she's
not-
picking up everything
that
here.
is not a call as a referee you want to see come your way, though. That is a
Oh,
really tough one to
man.
make. Referee determining it's just a little bit too far away, and Sabrina had headed kind of the wrong direction. You can head the wrong direction and still get a let
Agreed.
if you have time to go get it, but that is a tough one to call. I have plenty of sympathy for the ref in that
that's
situation.
brutal. You know, I will say they are calling that on, the PSA World Tour right now. They aren't very forgiving. Like you said, one step the wrong way, and they aren't being super forgiving. They aren't handing those out.
That's
But
a good
there you
response
go.
by Sabrina there.
There you go.
Well, I think they're looking to ref more positively in that, like, not to just end up with a let fest.
Totally.
Right? And I think overall that's a really positive thing.
Absolutely.
It encourages like more free flowing play. All right, here we go. Another game ball for Sabrina.
Oof. Oh, this is quality. Oh, it's tight. Wow. Stroke.
That's a stroke.
Oh my. I mean, I felt like Amanda's energy there was actually like a little sluggish. Then all of a sudden she pulls that out, and all of a sudden, she gets the squeeze, and you're like, what?
Here we go. 12 ball, only way it can be.
Stroke.
Yeah, Sabrina.
Oh, yes, let. Maybe that's a little even up the.
It's tough. We didn't have quite the angle from the low to see.
Yeah.
Either Amanda's accepting of the call or is too,
I think she
or they're both too tired to complain at this point.
Oh, that's tight.
I did hear a good line from the ref the other day, and she said, she's like, wait, so you're allowed to miss a drop shot, but I'm not allowed to miss one call?
Yeah.
This is not easy. All right, look at this.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
That is so hard to turn that ball from behind her like that off the backhand side.
Snap. She has such a snap of the wrist, right? Like, she really brings it through so quick.
And now we see for the first time, I believe, Amanda having a championship point here.
You could tell she's feeling it too, right? You can see in her walk, this is hard work.
She's digging deep every single
Yeah.
point to find it.
Heck yeah.
Chance for her 5th title here.
She definitely wants to finish it on this one. A one and done would be nice, right?
After all this work,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But that's well,
Still good defense
lifted.
from Sabrina. Oh, no,
Oh.
she just missed it. Wow. Olivia, what a match.
Oh my giddy god! What a spectacle! What a treat! How appropriate! to have that kind of match to finish off our night, huh?
And you say, I normally say mutual respect, but you can just see the love there. It means so much to both of them. Disappointing outcome for Sabrina, joyful outcome for Amanda, but wow, we look at the crowd, they are on their feet as well they should be. So let's go down to the court and hear from our 5-time champion, Amanda Sobey.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for Sabrina Sobey. And your 2022 U.S. Women's Champion, Amanda Sobey. Amanda, I can see the exhaustion on your face, an absolute roller coaster of a match. However, I think you gave the crowd what they came to see. How much did they help and how much did they affect the energy in this match?
Oh my God, so much. I am dying. I don't know if that went to a 5th. I honestly don't know if I would be able to play a single point. I think that was like an hour and 4 games. This is supposed to be the end of my season. Why are the matches so hard?
And you go to Egypt tomorrow, don't you?
Yeah, I'm going to Egypt tomorrow night for the World Tour Finals, and that's a best of 3. 8 players qualify for that, and it's a best of 3 pool format. So I think when I was down in the 3rd, I just told myself, I was like, treat it as if it's a best of 3, like World Tour Finals, you're down and out. And I don't know how I won that 3rd game, but that was a momentum shifter. And I thought, like, when I was down by a lot that game, I was like, you know what, this might be her day. But somehow I just stuck with it point by point and slowed things down and maybe found a second wind. I don't know how, but carried that in the 4th. And in the 4th, I just said, point by point, like, you know, when it was getting 8-all, 9-all in the 4th, I said, this is what you train for. Like, this is the points you want to play. This is what you enjoy. And I said, you go all out, like, give it to her. And I'm just glad I won in the end. Thank goodness, because, man, I did not want to play a 5th.
Well, entering this match, you had only given up 24 points the entire tournament, and you were down 9-2 in Game 3 and won 10 out of 11 rallies to win that game, and that carried over for Game 4. So right now, Demmer Halloran holds the record for 9 U.S. women's titles. Tonight, you have just claimed your 5th national championship. Is it safe to say that your sights are set on gaining that record?
That means I'm going to be playing for a while longer. But you know, 5 is amazing. If I can just keep chugging along and get 6, 7, 8, 9, like, that's amazing as well. But I think the level is so strong that this tournament is so tough. And being the kind of #1 seed, it's especially tough on me because I know that they're gunning for me, and it's just amazing to see kind of the depth with the girls, and that we're such a force on the PSA Tour. I think I just spit on you, I'm sorry. But, you know, they're pushing, they're raising the bar, and it forces me to keep training hard and keep raising the standard and raising the level because, you know, I'm competitive. I want to keep being top dog in the U.S., but I know they want to as well, so that's going to make me train hard. But it's amazing to have us all here, and I'm just so thankful to win my 5th national championship, please.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Sabrina, a great match. And Amanda Sobey just spit on me. Well, I think it's also safe to say that the future for the U.S. squash is bright. Congratulations again, a fantastic tournament, and well done.
Thank you guys. You guys were amazing tonight. I just want to say, you brought the noise. I know in the 4th game, a lot of it was for Sabrina, but the energy matters so much to us, and like, in general, I love to perform, and I love to perform in front of you guys. Like, we love to perform and put on a show for you guys. So the rowdier, the louder, the more appreciative you guys are, the better job we get to do as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2022 U.S. Women's Champion, Amanda Sobey. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our matches for the evening. However, That concludes our matches for the evening.
All right, well, ladies and
However,
gentlemen, you just heard from our champion, 2022 U.S. Women's Champion, Amanda Sobey. I'm here with two-time U.S. Women's Champion, Olivia Klein. Olivia, thank you so much for joining us. This was a ton of fun, and, man, we couldn't have asked for a better match than that amazing showdown between the sisters with Amanda just edging out Sabrina in the fourth.
No, absolutely. Although a bitter one, Asobi was going to have to lose and Asobi was going to have to win, but to just the old cliche, squash really was the winner. Today,
Nice.
that was a very...
That's how we're going to close. Let's
honestly,
do it. Yes.
squash was the winner. The quality was high. Lucky us.
Well, perfect. Well, Amanda just owes Sabrina a slightly larger birthday present this year, but
Absolutely.
we're now going to have a great celebration for all of Team USA here at the Specter Center. But we'd like to thank all of you for joining us for this live stream of two exceptional matches in the SL Green Men's Final and the U.S. Women's Final here at the championship. So on behalf of Olivia, I'm Dent Wilkins with U.S. Squash. We hope you all have a great night.